Everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeon and Doom Biscuit, and I want to make a backdrop for my this thing, my I can't think, my library Deloson boss room. So what I'm going to do to make my backdrop is I'm just going to get some foam, and I'm going to bang out some shelves. Just not real shelves, just to look like shelves, really, to put on my backdrop. And to do that, I'm just going to not measure. I'm just going to cut some really thin strips of dollar store foam. As straight as I can. And these are going to be my bookshelf pieces. Now this backdrop has to slide under the board, so it holds it in place. That should be enough for now. So that it slides under the board, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of cardboard that I'll be gluing my backdrop to. And it's going to go under the game board piece that we made the backdrop, the boss room out of. So I'm just going to cut a piece of this decently thick cardboard, thick card paper, whatever, and set that off to the side for this. And then I'm going to take these, and I'm going to do one is like the bottom of all the shelves, and then I have to extend it out. So what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull the paper off of this, so it's straight. And I'm going to maybe pull the paper off of this too. Okay. And then my plan is to do something like that. Okay. I'm going to do my tops on my bookshelves very similar. And this is just going to work as a nice little backdrop, giving the impression that there's a bunch of shelves and stuff in this room. And even though the sidewalls are just going to be thin strips of cardstock, these are going to look like how I'm doing this. Okay. It's not about perfection. It's about illusion. I'm just going to pull some of the glue off my fingers so it's not in my way as I work. Oh, that one burnt me a little bit. That's okay. That's all right. Oops. Okay. Now we're going to do our uprights, and to do these for the shelves, we're just going to cut those to a thin strip of glue and set those into place like that. And we'll just keep doing that and make some decent different sized bookshelves like this. We want to kind of make those straight up and down the best we can. If they're a little wonky and weird, that's okay. Oops. And they don't have to be the same width. You could do some wider than the others. It's your library. You're the boss of it's how it looks. Okay. We're getting there. We're making some progress. Look at that. Before long, people will think we know what we're doing. Now, I kind of wish I'd come in and done my library shelves this way, too. Because this is super easy. Let's get this one on the edge knocked out. Okay. And I think we can put one more here. Sweet. Okay. Now they have to look all haphazard and not perfect for a reason. Because according to the lore, these are 20,000 years old. And even though they were made by the greatest craftsmen of the time, and they're in a place where things don't really age at normal pace, these are a little thicker than I wanted, but I think we can use this piece too. All right, I'm gonna get another piece of cardstock and cut another strip to use because I'm running low here. Oh, getting spider webs everywhere. It's doing magic against my will. All right, and one more. Should do it. Now, once you have your backdrop mostly done, there's some cool things you can do to make it a little better. One, I'm going to try to get rid of some of this loose glue up here. I'm just going to run my glue gun along there to do that. So you could get a pen. Let me find one that's no longer in service. And you could kind of make some wood grain. You could even use a piece of foam for that if you were really motivated to. Or, I mean, like a toothbrush or a wire brush or something could do the same, you could do the same thing with that. You probably would have wanted to do that before you glued these all in place, though. Okay, now to make books, there's a lot of different things you could do. You could literally come in here with your pen and draw books, and then when you painted it, paint each one. But I'm going to do something a little different. Pardon me. I'm going to take these pieces here. Like that. And then I'm just going to cut them. To be different heights. And then, on some shelves, where I want it to look like there's some books stacked up on top of each other, I'm just going to get a little dibby dab of cardstock. I'm going to let that cool. Then I'm going to cut off the excess. I'm going to stack my books to look like that. Oh. And then in some other spots, I'm going to do something completely different. In some spots, I'm going to do this. Like I want a row that fits there perfectly. I'm going to get in here. Cut it to fit. And see how it's kind of like, got that. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to shorten a couple of these books up. I'm just going to drag that in there. Just like that. There you go. See, too easy. Something like that. Okay. So you have lots of different ways you can do it. This way actually might be one of the best ways to do this now that I'm looking at it. I think I might do that everywhere just to save a ton of time. So I'm going to find the shelves where that could work. Like that. Yeah, you almost have to hit them with the knife first to get that the right way, seems like. Yeah, to get that right depth. All right, so I'm going to do this for a while. Whoops. And you could even, if you wanted to, let me do it with this one. You don't have to do this, but you could actually thin this down by cutting this bookshelf in half here. But if you're going to do that, what I would recommend is that you kind of wait till you get it in there to do the books, because it's going to be real thin. So yeah, that works. You can totally do that. Oh shit. Of course I blew stuff everywhere, because that's what I do. That's a me thing. Alright, so we can just finish up our bookshelves real quick, I think. We've got a couple ideas of how you could do it, depending on how much time you want to spend doing that. I'm going to take that off a little bit there. There we go. And for your taller shelves, or where you want taller books, you can just cut taller strips of this. You can make your books all different heights too. You really could get pretty schmance with this if you wanted to get into that kind of effort. But man, I'm just usually not that dedicated to these kind of finer details. This should be cool enough to do up here. So, yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say at this point. This is kind of probably the best way to do this quickly. You could 3D print them, obviously, but I'm not, I mean, I have a printer in there, but that's not really how I like to craft. I like to kind of do things the hardest way possible for me. That's not true. I like to do it fast and easy. But I've never felt as much satisfaction 3D printing anything like I do doing it by hand, and that is the truth. I do enjoy 3D printing miniatures and painting them. Of course, we do run a business that does that, so it kind of makes sense. But when it comes to terrain and stuff, maybe painting out like consoles for spaceships and stuff is fun. But as far as everything else goes, I'd rather make it. Now, I am spending a lot of time working on this. So that means we're going to really Mod Podge it and stuff and get it looking very permanent, because it did take so much time to make. I hate to waste that much effort and not have something I'm going to keep. I don't keep a lot of things because I don't have room to, but I will keep this shelf. This backdrop can be used as, in the future for other stuff too. So if I wanted to have like a wizard's lab or something like that, this could easily be a backdrop there. Which gives me an idea. Do kind of step down bookshelf. Let's see how that looks. Let's do some bigger books. Another thing you could do, but I think over time they would pop back out, is maybe you could mush these down some. But like I said, I think that would pop back out over time. I'm not certain. Now I want one that doesn't stick all the way out to the edge of the shelf. So I'm just going to do that and make a more narrow book. Now, you really don't need this kind of detail. There's no reason for that at all. Absolutely none. All right, let's get some of these bigger shelves knocked out. I'll tell you what, I'm having a lot of fun doing this. This is my first time doing this, so it's just kind of like a, I don't know. I just was thinking of ways to do this faster for my backdrop, and this is what I came up with, and I really like it. And I'm enjoying it, and I'm trying to not make all my books look exactly the same. All right. We're getting away from the fact that this was supposed to be a quick craft. And by we, I mean I. Now, I had made some little modular bookshelves for scatter, not modular, scatter bookshelves, and they were okay. But I have like a ton of other sets of bookshelves I was kind of looking at, and I was like, oh, I should have made them like that, like I did before. And I was just thinking stuff like that, you know. Because you're doing videos, you're trying to do it, you know, quick. But sometimes just break it up into a few videos, I guess, is the way to go. Okay. All right, we have just what, 4 shelves left. They're all small. Never rush with a knife, kids. Yeah, toilet paper. There we go. Okay. Never rush with a knife. Get a little toilet paper, a little bit of tape, be good as new. All right. So for this one, I'm going to do something a little different. I'm not going to make it the full length. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a book leaning over. All right, we're almost done here. We're definitely over the 30-minute mark, though, I think. Yep, 32. Curse me, my long videos. Okay. We just have that little one to do up there. And if you remember correctly, I made some special pieces to go up there. Well, not specifically up there, but I made some special pieces. And each one does look like books that are kind of sitting on the shelf, stacked. I made 2 of those. And then I'll fill up the rest of that shelf with regular books. Okay. Now that you have all that done, let that sit for a minute. Let me get something to put under here to paint it. Got a piece of cardstock here. It should work nicely. So now we want to paint. That's not big enough. What do's I have? I got something around here. Here's a big piece of foam cord. It'll do what we want. It'll get cut up someday anyways. So get a shot glass. Or something you can mix in. And what you want to get is you want to get some Mod Podge. Now I don't plan on spray painting this by any means. But if you were going to spray paint it, you definitely want to get some glue or Mod Podge or something on there. And I'm just mixing whatever I think is a good amount. I'm putting some brown paint in there. This is really dark brown. It's called Burnt Umber. It's from Walmart. And I put a good bit of that in there. Then I'm going to put some black in there too. Darken that up. And I'm going to just use my wet brush I used earlier on the last craft. Just a big brush that I can spread things out with. And I've got some water in that brush a couple times and mixed it in here. And I'm looking at this and I'm thinking that's probably not dark enough. So I'm going to get some more black. And that's going to be dark enough, and it's real wet. Okay. Okay. And I think we got it down in all the cracks and everywhere pretty good. It's pretty wet. It's pretty dark. It's kind of everything we wanted out of that. Okay. And now I'm going to take this and I'm going to flip it upside down on a piece of parchment paper. And let it kind of drip out. So I can actually do it on here for now. Just drop it on here. Just get some of that really loose fluid out of there. There's still a good bit of crud. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a really soft makeup brush and just kind of clean up some of that wet down in the cracks with that. That should get in there pretty good. Okay. Just like that. Just get some of that moisture out of them cracks so it'll dry pretty good. Okay. There's a piece of spider web there. Okay. Something like that. Let's get rid of this piece. Let's bring this down here. I'm going to wipe my hands off a little bit. And I'm going to use a +2 hot air gunner burning. And all I'm doing is trying to blow it around a little bit to make sure I don't have any spots I missed. Alright, looks like we got it all pretty good. We can come paint it after this. Alright, so anyways, that's how I'm making my backdrop. When I'm done painting, I'm just going to glue it to a strip of thick cardstock and slide it behind the game board piece that I made as the boss room. And it's going to give the illusion that this, just like going to a play, like I said, at the theater, it's going to give the illusion that, you know, this is what's what. Now we're going to paint this more when it's dry, obviously, and I'll come back and do that. I'll probably paint it at the same time I paint the boss room floor. Hey, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, leave a comment, and all that stuff. That is super nice to do. And maybe head to the website and buy some minis. There's a discount code in the link at some point. If it's not there today, it'll be there tomorrow. And come join us on Discord. Hang out with us, paint and craft, and do all that fun stuff. Until then, thanks for watching.